Jack with Jill here. We'll try it one more time. Let us know if you can hear us.
Hey there.
We are
Welcome to our call.
I'm personally still in podcast mode. I hope I'm out of it now.
Right. Great. I want to make sure you have us both. Yep.
We're going to jump right into it today. We're going to talk about, I spent all day today talking to what turned out to be extremely successful members, both members of ours, both buying and selling houses, wholesaling houses. Some shocking stuff I learned today about selling houses and some successful land flipping. So if you're not pulling it, it's not blowing your mind. I learned some stuff today that might help.
Did we have a carryover thing from last week? I thought we did, and I'm trying to remember.
How to partnership deals.
Okay. Cool.
We can talk about that, sure.
Do you want to talk about that? You don't sound really excited. Yeah, okay, we can talk about it.
I learned some fun stuff today.
Okay. So, cool. All right. So, do you want me to drive in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Can I answer Farron's question first?
Where is Farron? Oh, yeah. Legal
Do
Shield?
you guys have a time frame for rolling out the escrow program? And the answer is YES. The technical rollout date will be November 1st. But the soft rollout will be the 16th. The software is ready. The people are ready. We're looking for several people who want to be early adapters. If you'd like to be an early adapter, you have a few deals that you want to get done in the next couple of weeks or 3 weeks. There's no financing involved. We won't do a deal that involves financing it in any way. Email me, jack@landinvestors.com, and I'll see if I can get you on a list. And give me some details of the deal. Make sure that it's pre-negotiated with the seller, like the seller's ready to sell it or buy it, and the money is ready to change and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm extremely excited about that. Extremely.
Mm-hmm.
O2O has been offers to owners has been a smash hit, and I really think that this is going to help a lot of people too.
Exactly. All right. Peter asks, I've been cutting off the top 50% of the assessed value properties when doing a data poll. Would you use 50% or a lower number? But that cuts off people who may respond to an offer.
So we, for houses, we no longer use assessed value. We never did. We never look at assessed value. We just send it in a market. For land, if you're going for we're in rural areas, I would consider, I usually cut the top 10% of assessed value off just to reduce the amount of hate, mostly because we don't answer the phone. Poor people that answer the phone, if they get kicked. But a lot of people that I talk to don't scrape it off at all. Mm-hmm. So it's really a personal preference, but 50% is a little heavy no matter who you are, because I think you're missing some opportunity. Hope that answers it.
That was awesome. Thank you very much, Jack. Matt B asks, hey, how to get the most out of title? Title can be expensive and take longer than is really necessary for a land deal. True. How would you go about phrasing the following to title companies? 1, closing deals more quickly. 2, asking for the investor rate. 3, keeping escrow open until the deal has sold to the end buyer. A while back that you mentioned you can keep escrow open. This will expedite the selling process by just letting the title agent know that you plan to sell again soon. How does this work? Thank you.
Yeah, Matt's one of the people that I spoke with today, and I gave him the short answer to this question, but I'll give the long one now. I'll do it as long as Jill puts up with it.
What? Wait, I'm trying to kick. I can't kick from here.
You're done.
Just kidding.
That's the whole answer right there.
No.
The reason we started TitleMind or Escrow Perfect is to solve this problem, because for decades I have been trying to find an escrow company that will do a completed deal without title insurance, and I have not had success. And also one that understands that you can't just put my deal on a stack of the 30 or 80 or 100 deals that you're doing this month as a title agent, because there's no lender, there's no real estate agent, it's just so easy. And here's the deal pre-negotiated. Here's the purchase agreement. We're just ready to close. We just need to exchange money. So they don't get that. And it's not their fault. They're just used to doing one type of deal. So we will solve. We've solved that. and we're charging a lot less.
Thank you.
As far as keeping escrow open, we'll do that for you. Just all you have to do is tell us, and most of you will, because you're not going to hold the property. We're going to resell it, so
Exactly.
we'll close the deal for you on the other end.
Exactly. Farron asks, have you heard of anyone in our group using Legal Shield for affordable legal advice?
I've heard about it, but I've never used it.
Got it.
Like you pay in like $30 or $40 or $50 a month, and then you get so many minutes with a lawyer and stuff. I think that's it.
Exactly. All right.
If you look in the chat, some of the people are answering these questions, which is really awesome.
I love it. And Peter said Legal Shield is great. So that's good. That's really good. Can you do it per use? I don't know. I've never used it because we've always had an attorney like in our back pockets and even in different states, which is great. So I never use anything like this. So I'm kind of curious if you have to do a monthly thing or just pay as you go. Because I would love if it's pay as you go, then I think that's great for people. And you just kind of use it as you need it. So that's awesome. And hopefully you don't need it. Luke. Hey, you want to open up Luke and let him ask us?
Yeah, we will as soon as we get through some of these questions and talk about, yes, the answer is yes in a few minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Luke's is about, I'm going to read it for everybody. Do you ever drop your own legal descriptions when you can't get the deed on good looking deals? And Jack is yes, and we're going to talk about that more in a few minutes here. All right. Got it. Matt B asks, a while back, Luke mentioned difficulties that you run into when buying and selling through a notary when someone down the line sells through title. Can you go into this a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm going to put Luke on to answer this.
Yeah, hold, please.
Hi, Luke.
Hey.
Yay.
Good, there he is.
Make sure it's the right microphone.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Perfect.
Sounds great from here. Anyway.
So the problems that come up when you do title close and then go to title later, like say you buy the property on a notary close and sell it on a title close. So I've done that numerous times, and they usually want you to get an affidavit of uninsured deed from the person that you bought it from, and which is not that big a deal. Some of the title companies, they look up the deed that I bought the property from, and I usually put the person's contact information in there as well as their phone number. And so the title company just calls them and asks for it, and they set up a notary, send the notary over there, and get it done. Some of the title companies, they just throw it back on me and have me go find the person and ask them and get the affidavit. So First American has been requesting that they hire the notary to do it. They don't want me to hire the notary to do it, but some of the other title companies let me hire the notary to do it because their stipulation, like the affidavit has to be notarized by a notary that was hired by them. And it's got to have the current information in the new deal, like who it's being sold to, who the insurance is going to, all that kind of stuff. They don't say the sale price and things like that, but just some basics of what the new deal is on there that they're writing insurance on. And they want the previous person to sign that, I was married or not married or whatever. No, I don't have any options to buy it back. And no, I don't have, they sign off on all the stuff that insurance might run into as a problem later on someday. And just things that I guess theoretically you could probably put on the deed to kill that going forward, but they still want the affidavit signed by their notary. So just more paperwork for them to go back.
So here's original.
Charge you like $175 for the notary. Same notary I paid $50 for or something.
Yeah. A real world example of
is that what you guys want to?
That's the original question was or is. hey, is there any risk that if I buy property on a notary close and then I sell it on a notary close, like 5 years from now, somebody wants to put a skyscraper on it and they realize that transaction didn't happen through title?
I don't know if anyone's there or not.
Well, let's take care of Luke's audio issues.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Matt thinks he's got. You have us, Luke?
Luke, can you hear us? I hear Jack and Luke. That's what Matt says. All right. So the problem's on Luke.
I figured out it was my speaker. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay. All good. Here's a real example of what Matt was concerned about on the data review call today. You buy a piece of property on a notary close, you sell it on a notary close. 2 years passes by, someone decides that they want to put a skyscraper there, so they go the extra mile to get commercial title insurance policy. The reviewer looks through it and sees this transaction that you were involved in. And so the worst thing that has ever happened to us, and I'm not saying it's the worst thing that could possibly happen, but it happens to Jill and I probably once a month, is we get a big package in the mail and it says, hey, remember that property you sold 2 years ago? And well, we need you to sign a bunch of stuff and we're going to send a notary over for you to sign it. And so we do. And all it essentially says is you're not going to make a claim to the property. You're signing off on the fact that you didn't buy it and sell it with the title insurance situation. So that's all that is. You're not going to screw up the value of the deal, the value of the property 5 years down the road if you do a notary close.
Exactly. It just creates more paperwork. And it doesn't always happen. Like, do tons of transactions that you never get that out of. But for the few that it happens, just sign the stupid paperwork and ship it on. But I think a good thing to do there is put the contact information of the people you're buying it from on the deed. And so the title people can just do it on their own. They don't have to come bug you and say, hey, remember that transaction 2 years ago? You bought it from this guy. How do we get a hold of him? And then you're playing detective and it's not even your deal anymore. It's like just a waste. Just get that information on the deed for them.
We've made this jump maybe 20 times in our lives have done it. Like, and never put up a fight. It's like, yeah, I'm happy to help.
Yeah. Usually it's us they're trying to track down that I've had. Hey, can you just sign this to show that it went through whatever? I'm like, okay, cool. So good. Okie dokie. Amy asks, when evaluating potential counties, what is an acceptable range for average days on market? Or does it matter if you price your property correctly? The county I'm working in has many that are on the market for 1 to 3 years. Should I move along?
No, it's okay. Long days on market for rural land is fine. But here's the thing, and this is true across the board for any product type or in any market. You got to be way below market. That will solve your days on market problem 99% of the time. You can reset the market if you do a bunch of deals and sell your properties in 20 days.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. All right. Shamgod asks, do you have a process for following up with counties to make sure that they record your deed? There's a couple things here. I've called a few that weeks later they're still showing the old owner. Well, sometimes I've had them too, Shamgod, where they may show the old owner for a long time. And I've had some that if it flat out told me that, oh, we do all this at the end of the year. And so the property could have bought and sold hands 4 times in this year, but it doesn't flip over until the January of the following calendar year. So a lot of counties have different practices and it's kind of nutty. So and the only time it's an issue is someone says, well, do you really own it? Because it doesn't look like you do. And then I always say, look,
call them.
Well, number one, they could, but I would just say I have the recorded deed if we really, and it's not, and I explain it to them. Yep. And I say in here, by the way, this is how this county works. So once you buy it, it's going to take that time for you to show up too. So, because some are, weeks, months, whatever, and you have a recorded deed in your hand, and that's what.
Here's why. The more rural the county is, the older their computer system is. And with this product type, most of the counties we deal with are rural. So their systems are not web enabled. And if they are, they're usually tied to the assessor's database because that's what they use to collect money from tax revenue. the assessor's database and the recorder's database, if the recorder actually even has one, are separate. They're not tied together. They're separate databases. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see that stuff happen immediately. If you record something in Maricopa County, you see it that hour.
Right.
And I haven't done it in LA County yet, but I'm sure it's fast. Or I haven't checked, I guess I should say.
Exactly. Christian asks, in the East Coast versus West Coast podcast. Whoa.
Oh, no. I knew this was going to bite us.
No, I hope it's something. We talked about some funny stuff on that too. So Jack says that he looks for a variance in pricing when doing mailers, and that a huge variance in pricing is a good thing. We just talked about this. Yeah. Thank you, Christian, for paying attention. Brilliant. Seriously, no.
Sound like a teacher a little bit.
No, where were we? Shucks, we were looking at prop. We were literally. Oh, I'll tell you where we're in a second. Let me answer poor Christian's question here. Wherever there's turmoil, there's money to be made. I'm guessing.
Oh my God!
Because you can buy cheap and then hopefully sell towards the higher variance. But care to explain any more of your thoughts on this? Can I just explain where we were and what was going on?
I can't be responsible for what I said. Oh,
come on!
Yes, go ahead.
So there's a few people that see our Facebook stuff, and so Jack and I were in Santa Barbara seeing Depeche Mode. So on the way south. We do this every time. We're always checking out different areas. We're popping in and looking at some strategic places that are, let's just say, between LA and Santa Barbara. And
we spent a solid day and a half looking at real estate.
We did.
There and back.
Yeah. So there were a few areas that we said, no. And he went, oh, now this is one. Look at this. And it was just
a good story.
It really was. Because we were really, it was doing exactly this, trying to find variances in some areas. And I don't want to say anybody needs to go driving any areas. We were just doing it because it's part of what we do. But you can see them. You can see
it. We could have seen it on a map too, but we were just happened to be there.
That's it. We could have pulled it up on on Redfin and stuff, but it was more fun because we were driving down the coast. So
So what we smoked out by actually doing this is close to $1 million variance by crossing one residential street because it was on the ocean. And so when you see a variance like that, it screws up algorithms. Algorithms can't take into consideration stuff like humans can. So when you see a variance like a lake, a subdivision or a rural lake in any country or any state or county is a great example because you can see some of the waterfront property is massively different than the other stuff. So it's really easy to go in and buy properties in some of these areas for substantially less than you're going to sell it for and back the data up with comparative sales. This isn't the environment to get really into this. This is one of my hobbies, is smoking out these situations and then sending everybody a letter and buying and selling a lot of property.
Well, Christian's onto it too, and so kudos to you. JT Taylor asks, we've done our first mailer and have 4 deals. Awesome.
That's what I want to hear.
Yep. We posted in Landwatch, Landpin, Facebook, our own website, Craigslist, Backpage, etc. We have about 50 or so inquiries, but haven't sold any yet. It's been about 4 weeks since our first attempt to sell. Where should our expectations be on how long it takes to actually sell a property? I have one thought.
Go ahead, Joe.
Price. I'm curious because you're getting these inquiries, but it hasn't happened yet. Where are you in the pricing? Was that your first thought too, Jack? Because he's getting it out there.
I don't know.
And also answering the stuff in like the format that Jack uses, touch all those pieces of data in there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe the location is missing or something.
That's true.
It really needs to be there.
Do a video like Luke does. If you don't follow Luke on YouTube, you should go subscribe to his thing. Every time he does a video, or us for that matter, I get an email and I'm constantly getting barraged in a positive way because this is our little micro niche of all the videos that Luke does. So take a look at a bunch of Luke's videos for property and do a video. And then the other reason, we sell a ton of property on our email list. We've got tens of thousands, probably more than 20,000 people on our email list. And this is one of the things that we're talking about in the car. I didn't realize this, but Jill's known it all along. She just keeps it from me to torture me. that we sell 90% of our property that isn't pre-sold on that email list.
Nice.
So are you with us?
Mm-hmm.
So,
JT said it's $20K for 10 acres. He says 60% below. Is it 60% below the top or the bottom too? So there could be something missing.
It's a matter of time then.
That too. Because at least you're getting inquiries. I always think this was so funny because remember one time a while back, we had a member that was like, I'm not getting any response. And it was really cool because, I mean, this is a good idea too, JT. So this member, this was like a year ago, he put a link to the property on Land Investors for us all to look at. And everybody kind of weigh in on it, say, what am I missing here? And everybody did. And the response was, you forgot to put your phone number. And that was the problem. Serious.
See, it might be something.
So he was like, oh no. So that, but you know what? That's a good thing, JT. I mean, that's why we're here. And you know what? Make a private thread in the back so you know it's just us. And if you just want to post it there and get Luke and everybody's input in the back of Land Investors, everybody will smoke it out for
idea,
you.
Jill.
Thank you. I have one now and
great
then.
Idea.
Thank you.
What? You just had like 9 ideas. 9 good ideas.
It's kidding. Thank you very much.
Make a video and tell people how to check out. Because that's like what they ask about, like, oh, how do I actually buy this property? Well, the video says you click this button and you type this in there and you type that in there and you click that button and it's yours. Show them how, tell them, show them, set the hook. Don't just give the presentation and not set the hook. Like, take that thing home, get the sale closed.
Yeah.
And that's missing from a lot of, especially the realtor stuff on the website. Websites, they don't even tell you where the property is. Like, how are you going to buy it? How are you going to shop it? You got to call them, ask questions, start signing contracts and stuff. Ours is so much easier. They can click through and buy it. So just set up that system and show them how to do it. Make it really easy for them to just buy it. People buy property from me all the time. I've never talked to. I have no idea where they're coming from. And I don't know how my sales pitch got to them, but it does. And they buy the property and I do the paperwork for them and they come back and buy more. But just make it really easy for them to buy it. And don't be like the realtors that put up all kinds of barriers to close the thing and timelines and ridiculous paperwork and everything else. Just make it so they can buy it. Check out, click, done.
The company that's on the back end of Jill Pay, if you're not taking credit cards and waiting, is Heartland Payment Systems or Solutions. They're in one of the center states, like Oklahoma or something like that. And we're having a hell of a time getting in writing. In fact, I've worked on this for a really long time. Jill worked on it, then she shipped it back to me. So we cannot get in writing that they verbally said that there is no problem with this product type. So rather than launch Jill Pay, Jill and I have decided that you're welcome to just call Heartland. You can drop our names if you like. We're not going to make $1 on it. We're going to open a whole payment gateway and the whole thing, but it's just if we can't get it in writing. What I fear is that 6 months from now, it's going to get so far up the chain that and then everybody's going to say, "What the hell, Jack and Jill? You guys didn't research this enough." So rather than us make even $1 on it, I'm going to turn everybody over to Heartland Payment Systems. Just call in like your regular schmo off the street and see what you can do.
Yeah.
And we're going to take Jill Pay off of our list of stuff to do because
we can't get them to commit.
It could have been a great thing. I contacted the CEO and the CFO many times through different channels, and I just can't get an answer.
I made a joke.
So
what'd you say? Oh, your joke. Sorry, I'm getting all serious.
Just like dating, we can't get them to commit.
Do you have that problem, Joe?
No, I'm good. No, I'm really good.
Do you know how they work? Like you apply, they check credit, they say you're good for so much per day or so much per month or this kind of rates, or
we gave them access. We actually gave them access to the back end of some of our stuff, like our Stripe account, Luke, so they could really see the numbers that we're doing. So
and then they said we said,
"Oh, okay, you're fine." So that's where we stopped. So we passed that initial, and you're right, we passed the initial financial thing up front. That was a no-brainer. Now it was like, how do we make this work?
Yeah.
So, and that's where we keep getting. We have had two different people.
Personally, have had no problems whatsoever, like signing up as a user, as you would, or anyone else on the call or group would. So
because like the whole process, the paperwork process of setting up, it's not like click Stripe or one of the other ones, PayPal or something. It's an application. You put down your information, you get approved, and then they set some limits depending on whatever your story is. You can probably increase later. Is it that style? Because that's what I run into. They still give me limits. Like I go to the merchant account people before they even turn me down for real estate. They say, okay, you can do $5,000 transactions and $15,000 a day max, or some stupid number that's just not going to work. Some $100,000 a month limit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, just open it up. Let's see what we can do.
Isn't that the funniest thing? It's like, I'm trying to make money for both of us. Why are you having trouble with this? And they don't.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going halfway through the month and then hitting your monthly transaction limit? Right. And you got your website all set up and you tell everyone to check out online and it's like error.
Yeah. All of those things have happened to me.
Yeah.
How they were different for us is we gave them a view only look at our Stripe accounts, and they said, holy hell.
Right.
Yeah, then they open it up. Okay.
Yep.
So maybe for the new guy setting up, it's a little slower out of the gate. Got to keep asking them for increases in the limits.
Well, I think that when I started, it was like the first month it was 5,000 to 10,000, then the next month, and this is cash sales, it was 30, then 40, then 50. So I never got caught up with that. And in fact, I think a couple times that happened where I hit the limit and they looked and they said, there's no chargebacks, there's no issues, we're going to raise it.
Yeah.
You got to have a relationship for sure, though. Luke, you're right.
Yep.
Somebody that you can call and talk to the same person. And if they have any sales in their blood, they're going to say, all right, let's help this person.
Yeah. So it's a little more touchy-feely than like Stripe. You're never going to get them on the phone.
Exactly.
Talk to them and stuff.
Very true. Yeah.
So I went by leaps and bounds. We've had a positive experience with Heartland with the exception of really just opening a payment gateway and calling it Joe Pay. They just would not, which I understand. They're a publicly traded company. They don't want to sign stuff.
They quote you how much they charge based on your story and different quote for each person style. It's
cheaper. It's approximately 40% less than we're paying in Stripe right now.
Okay. It's a good reference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Peter asks, well, by the way, on this note, Daryl said something about Amazon payments. I don't know. Has anyone tried that? And
I'll use them for about a year.
Until they catch up?
Yeah.
That's what Park McCluskey says to do.
Really?
No, he's like on the record. So use them until they figure it out.
Use them until Seth gets a hold of it. And then because Seth will broadcast it. So I love it. That's really good. I love Seth. Okay. Let's see. Peter says, when you see a county with no other, yes, I agree, Kathleen, too, and thank you. When you see a county with no other land dealers competing, do you salivate or you wonder why the usual suspects are not there?
I answered this. So I had two calls with extremely successful members today. And here's one thing about both of them. They're killing it in counties that I've never heard of in two states that we all love. So I think that should answer that question. And they were not even close to $100 an acre when they sent mail out. They were much higher, and they used really intelligent pricing. In fact, the nature of both of the calls was, Jack, help me because this thing is out of control now. We are so busy. We need you to help us close our deals. We need all these products. So we're doing it as fast as we can.
Mm-hmm.
To directly answer your question, I would highly encourage you to be really creative with the counties you send mail in.
Right. Mike A. Hey, Mike asks, why not buy with a special warranty deed and avoid the whole affidavit of uninsured property issue?
We always buy.
I buy warranty.
We try to buy warranty unless somebody says something, then special warranty. But I don't know how
they don't have anything to do with each other.
Yeah,
the the
Thanks.
title.
I was
yeah.
trying to be nice
I'm like,
about it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
the
politic my way
affidavit
through
of
it. And
property
just like,
value
"Ah,
is separate.
that's actually a stupid question.
No, it's a good question. Like I tried to re-engineer this a couple ways to like cut down on the paperwork, because if I could do it in the front end, if I change my deeds, I put the stuff like some check boxes or have them sign off that they're not married if it doesn't say, or if they are married, no options, no buybacks, no blah, 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 like all the things that the title companies put on their affidavits. I even collected affidavits for about a month. I was like, screw this title company going back and forth stuff. I'm just going to collect a blank affidavit of uninsured deed. And so I collected those, and title came up. I'm like, here's your affidavit. And they said, no, that's not going to work, because it's got to have, it's got to be theirs and it can't be mine. Covers all the same bases. Guy signed it, notarized, everything. Doesn't matter. You still gotta be the title company doing it.
It's the government,
Exactly.
It's not government. It's just risk tolerance of the insurance company. They don't want any risk. They want to insure without any risk. So this is their way of passing off all the risk. So they want to get rid of all the risks. So they paper it up as much as they can.
So it wasn't the county that was demanding it. It was a title company?
Yeah, the title company, to write title insurance on the property. They want these affidavits.
I tried to record deals sometimes with in the recent past without the affidavit of property value in Arizona and stuff, and they kick it back now because it goes to the assessor. The affidavits go to the assessor. The recorder doesn't. They just record them and pass them on.
Yeah, you got to have those Arizona ones. But the Arizona ones are easy. You can sign both sides. I mean, buyer or seller, agent on the other side. Some of the counties started sending it back to me like, you didn't circle if you're an agent or a buyer or a seller. Like, okay, circle agent on one of them, send it back. Yeah, I don't send that to people when I'm buying or selling. I do both sides, just simplify the paperwork.
That's what we do
for everyone. California.
Again, these problems will be solved with Title Mind. Yep. You won't have to worry about it. We'll do it for you.
Aaron asks, after downloading RealQuest data for Washington State County, I got a scientific APN scheme. I was able to format the scientific equation easy enough by highlighting the row Control 1 and clicking the number. After skimming through the data, there was a ton of identical APNs. The identical APNs had different owners with different addresses. Yep. The APNs did not show up in Parcel Fact or on the county site. Just trying to figure out what I screwed up and if there's a fix. I'm probably just going to send the mailers with incorrect APNs and see what see what happens. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I have had this is potentially an unsolvable issue, but here's the background. When you go from XLS or .txt or whatever formatting in a spreadsheet and you go to CSV is designed to take all the formatting and just look at the raw data and then send it through to the mail merge is what you're trying. So during that transition, if the program believes that it's a scientific, to the power of or 6 or to the power of 8, then it's going to do a bunch of stuff that it's going to run a command that's in one of the lines, and it's a big problem. You need to before you change formatting, you need to in Excel widen that out and hard code it, and hopefully you can write a macro to do it all the way down. This is a big issue, Aaron. I wrote a whole thing on it. If you go to the little help buoy in Land Academy and type in scientific or whatever keyword, there's a huge long thing that I wrote about how to avoid this. I would not personally send out incorrect APNs.
So what I'm hearing is we're having Excel PhD level.
Yeah, again, this is totally not the right
I remember when this came out. I now remember that
not
whole
the right
conversation.
Can I stick a little something in there?
Yeah.
I don't like Microsoft. You gotta pay for it, right? And so when you gotta pay for it, the community doesn't like to answer questions. Those guys that get paid should answer the questions. When it's a community-based software like LibreOffice or OpenOffice, I like LibreOffice a little bit better. It's like Linux version of Excel. That's how I do my mail merges. When you take a scientific thing like that and translate it through from their version of Excel to the mail merge, and their version of the mail merge, you can right click on it and choose how you want it. Do you want the formatting that comes from the spreadsheet?
Wow, really?
Or do you want it to come through as data like Excel would do it? I mean, they word it a little differently, but that kind of stuff comes up in open source software because guys like you and I run into those problems and you get pissed off. And some of the guys that get pissed off of that know how to fix it and they go fix it. People that run into that problem in Microsoft, they paid Microsoft for that. They're never going to fix Microsoft stuff for them. They should do it. They got paid. So if you switch over to the dark side or whatever you want to call it, I think Microsoft's the dark side. But if you switch over to the open, free side, a lot of that stuff is fixed and it makes a lot more sense. And if you have questions, there's a lot more people that answer the questions on the chat boards and the groups. They make videos and all that stuff to teach you how to do it. I think a lot more than on the Microsoft side. And it's just, to me, it's a lot more user friendly. And that's like a huge piece of changing over to Linux or Linux kinds of stuff. You don't have to run Linux to use LibreOffice. You could do it on Apple, Windows, or Linux, or lots of other different operating systems. It's free. Click on it, and download it, and you can do mail merges.
Try this. This is good stuff.
Yeah,
I love learning stuff, man.
The files come out smaller, like way smaller. Generally everything runs faster. It doesn't crash as much. It's a lot more sound and stable.
Yeah, I mean, my finishing comment on this ad is I've never had any issues with. I'm all for trying new stuff, so I'll give it a shot. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, there's a learning curve. I mean, it's different. The buttons are in different places and stuff. They might use different words to explain something, but it all works the same kind of way. They steal from each other.
Yep. Farron asks, in the SFR yes. Thank you. I like these questions. Farron asks, is the SFR program planned to roll out this year? Really looking forward to diving into that one.
Yes, it will roll out by the end of the year for sure, but it will be in the form of a series of classes that in the beginning I will teach. Hopefully Luke will pipe in, help us.
Yeah.
A few select other people were in a webinar format like this on probably what will end up being Adobe Connect, because it's a much more robust education interactive scenario. We'll have a series of classes from start to finish where a lot of us are pretty far along the way, but we just need help with, pricing. Some of us are just starting, so we need to do a website and all that. We're going to teach, Jill and I and several other people are going to teach a series of classes on how and we're going to do it right along with you. Mm-hmm. If you take the whole series, Jill, stop me because you know more about this than I do. But you can sign up for the whole series, and at the end of it, you're going to be buying property because we're going to do it right with you. Mm-hmm. We'll do a mail merge, and you'll do a mail merge. And
probably going to be realistically, because we're almost I hate to say it, we're coming into November. So it's probably going to be like enrollment and signups and stuff will be open.
And the classes will happen
by the end of the year. And
in
then
January.
The classes, will happen beginning of next year. So cool. Good question.
The house market, I talked to somebody again today, and they're so excited about this house thing. So there's so much money that a lot of us make in land, but houses, it's infinite. You could literally pick an area in Ohio, and if the numbers hit what your criteria is, you can do it there. I mean, you can do this with land too, but there's a lot of houses that are it's untapped. There's a lot of people driving for dollars that there's no competition. I'm extremely excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Shem got asked, I bought a property last week that I noticed later that a VA had mentioned there was a $300 water bill due on it. I would have never even known to look for that as it wasn't with the county. Is that something I should be trying to verify in each deal? This is the first time this happened to my knowledge. If a VA had mentioned it, I still wouldn't have known.
I bought a house in Detroit through title before I started this program. And that was part of why I really wanted to buy this program, because I want to circle back to Detroit someday and buy some more of these rental houses. Mm-hmm. But I bought the thing. Yeah, exactly. The land's a lot better. I haven't tried. But I took it through title, and you'd think title would check the water bill, right? Nope, they didn't check the water bill. They said that's not their job. That was my job. I was supposed to check the water bill.
What?
Nobody paid the water bill for like 10 years. And,
Oh my God.
it was like $5,000 something water bill. I mean, it wasn't a very big dollar house. It was paid $10,000 house or something stupid, right? But I could have bought the house next door for 10.5 without the water bill if I would have known, if I would have made the call and would have figured it out. So some places the water bill sticks to the owner. Some places the water bill sticks to whoever signed up for the water bill. Right. And that's one of the things you got to do. Buy the vacant ones with no water. If you don't want that problem, if you want to go up market for ones with water, you got to call a water company. I got a property I'm trying to close right now. I can't figure out who the water company is. I've called like 6 different water companies in the area, and they all point me round robin, going round and round and round at somebody else. And the guy says there's an $800 water bill, and I can't figure out who the water company is, and he can't find the bill.
Mm-hmm. I've had that with HOAs. I've had HOAs don't know who owns a property. I'm like, can somebody please just tell me? They're like, no, it's not us, and it's them, and it's just hilarious. I should Google the other people on the street, and because there's other houses on the street, and Google them and call them. Hey, who's your water company? I don't know. How do you figure it out? Beats me.
If the lien should be recorded. Okay, so if there's a lien against the property, apparently the water company, I don't know the legalities of this, maybe you do. The lien should be recorded somehow with the county so that it shows up on a lien report.
Doesn't have to be recorded.
So, I mean, how do they prove it then? Or do you just pay it and just say, yeah, okay, that's the bill?
Detroit, it's a monopoly. I mean, water companies, most everywhere, it's a monopoly. Like, they don't play by the same rules, It's, you want to hook back up to the water? Pay the freaking bill. Otherwise, you can't hook up to the water. It's not like I'm going to go drill a well in the middle of Detroit.
So this is the big picture point. Make sure you buy property for half of its value, and then you just pay the bill. And then sleep at night and forget it.
Yep. It doesn't happen that often. It's very rare. It's just this one that I'm working on now. It's because the guy mentioned it that I'm researching it anyway. If he didn't mention it, I would have never checked. I would have bought it, sold it, heard about it later on someday when someone tries to go hook up to the water.
Right.
Knocking on wood here, I've never had a water bill issue like that.
Yeah.
I've had medical lien issues and all kinds of stuff. And again, it's been less than 8 properties and almost 16,000. So
that's like for few. I look at it as like a cost of doing business sometimes.
We talk about these one-offs a lot,
right?
But the fact is, it should never stop you from doing this stuff.
Drop in the bucket. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Now, if you're doing a lot bigger dollar properties and maybe some bigger nasty bills came along, instead of spreading it out and diversifying into multiple properties, I think it might be a bigger deal. That's a bit different strategy too.
All the commercial real estate I've ever been involved in, we had an attorney who went through a really long checklist and smoked some of that stuff out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Peter asks, can you show the optimal way to search for condos for mailing campaigns? I'm thinking of an option strategy. Jen's doing it right now.
Peter, you are absolutely on the right track.
Literally doing this for some people.
People who are, I think I mentioned this last week, that are not in this group. They just found us. I found O2 Offers Owner somewhere, and they're killing it buying condos. So yeah, it's really, really simple. Can Jen help him?
Yeah.
It's real simple. If you look at the data set, in RealQuest or soon to be Data Tree, you'll see what condos and why. Send
Jen an email. Send it via support@offerstoowners.com, and it goes to Jen. And you can, because really what you're asking for, hey, what specific criteria are you using to pull condos? And Jen can go, this, and this.
Exactly.
And there you go. So cool. JT Taylor is asking, below the market, can get access to our Facebook sellers. I'll have to get with Jack on that one. So
what's the question?
It was below the market. It was from one before, and then he wants to do some of our seller stuff. So I'll get with you on that.
Was that a prior question?
Yes.
Like we bought a bunch of property and it hasn't sold yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go onto YouTube and research how to as if you were a local barbershop, how to market to people that are around that
That's true.
specific geographic location. It's ridiculously easy and crazy cheap. And there's a bunch of people on YouTube that know how to do it much better than we do. If you do it half right, you're going to sell a bunch of real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Same, I guess Luke is doing it on YouTube. How's that going on YouTube, Luke?
At least one property a day sells through YouTube.
Great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We use YouTube marketing / because you have to tie into Google to do it, which is good. We use it for Land Academy and other stuff, and we've had nothing but successful runs.
I'm just testing it too. I'm paying like $5 a day for advertising.
I've never paid more than $30 combined. Yeah. More than $30 a day combined with staggering results. If I paid $1,000 a day for like 10 days straight, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, the phone would melt. Like I really want to try it. I want to do it kind of pull the plug on the land watch, land and farm stuff, and just stick that money into YouTube. I mean, I don't have the nerve to do it yet, but that's like what's going on in the back of my head. That's why I'm testing YouTube. And someday just do that. I mean, I stick a couple $1,000s a month into YouTube, and especially customize some of those ads for the higher margin properties or areas, and
right.
You can go and pick what video you want your ad to show up on. Like homesteading and
or
building
houses,
tiny house in this
houses in Texas or something. Yeah, not
even Texas, like this county in Texas, right. That is the specific video of somebody talking about the zoning there and how they're doing it. If you find that kind of video that is all about what your property is, like, hey, I got a property where you can do the same thing as this guy. You can make a specific 30-second pitch and point it out and put it in that video and just run it in front of that guy's video. And huge, high, sweet conversion rates, I'm sure. I just don't have the time to do it yet, but I want to. I want to do those kinds of advertisings. And it wouldn't cost much of anything. We're ridiculously cheap.
Joe and I have had several conversations independently with experts in this area, and those are the people that we're going to co-teach these classes with. So we will hold a class, for example, on YouTube advertising to sell land. That's specific.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. Like, because it's the other side of this business model, because we're sending letters out to people and we're saying, I want to buy your land. Here's how much I'll pay for your land. And these people aren't so much like mixed up in the marketplace and know what their property is trading for as much as we do, hopefully. They're not studying the market. They're saying, okay, I could get this cash and I could sell out. Now, on the sell side, we're putting it in the marketplace and we're comparing ourselves to the marketplace and, whatever else is for sale, because it's easy. We got the buy side figured out. But if we distance ourselves from that and we present this awesome property at this awesome price and we don't relate it to the marketplace, we can make our own market. If we're good at marketing these things, I mean, I'm not saying go market up 10 times what other people are charging for the one across the street, but you can move them a lot faster if you do like really specialized marketing to people that are not necessarily going and studying the marketplace of that property. They might be on the other side of the country thinking the whole world revolves around their neighborhood, and they log into YouTube, DIY, fix a flat tire or something. And all of a sudden they're reading about this awesome place in the woods on the other side of the country that they can buy with their credit card, and they don't need a mortgage, and they can move in the same day, and the sun's always out, and all these other positive things, whatever your sales pitch is on the property.
The dream, man.
Sell the dream. And, heck with changing a tire. I'm buying that land,
Yep.
Done. It's just like the grocery stores sell bubble gum or whatever at the checkout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Point of purchase.
There's a reason for that.
Exactly.
Yep. This is funny. See, thank you. Thank you, Merritt. This was from before my comment. He said he put the wrong number on Lands of America. Corrected it now, but wonder how much damage I did to myself.
Yeah.
I know, and that little things like that can happen. You're like, why is nobody calling me?
Our job is to stay microscopically abreast of this stuff, and that's what these live education series will be all about. And it's not. And the next time we run a series, it'll be different. It'll contain the new and greatest stuff that we're using. So,
I have to tell you what's going on right now in a little private chat that I'm having with one of our members, who is talking to me about what she has been learning lately on the value, what you guys are talking about, social media, Yanni, and YouTube for advertisement. She's getting all into it. So I just telling her, you better take some great notes because we're going to all get to be pros on it.
Good. That's great
stuff. And Yanni's going to teach the class. She just doesn't know it yet.
Good.
So I'm waiting for her to message me now on that one. So, right, Matt asked, there she goes. Matt said, how does time on market change when selling at different selling points, like for cash? Oh, this is a great question. 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. You're right.
I don't think it does.
Oh, I don't know. You don't think so?
I think it does.
I think people have more cash. I mean, what they have in their pockets. Like, I don't know.
I think it's if at 10, 20, at $5, $10, and $20,000. Look, back me up here. There's no difference. At $800,000, it's going to take you a couple months to sell, but you're probably going to make it, $150,000 on it. So
I don't know.
think there's
neighbor's house. Neighbor put the house up for sale, and he put it up for sale. The next day, he had an open house. Guy made an offer at the open house, and it was sold. Cash offer, like over asking, and
that's what I think.
It was priced below the market, and neighbor a couple houses over is, comparing to other comps in the neighborhood and everything. And he's saying he put it like maybe $700,000 below the market, what this guy's figuring out. Mm-hmm. And he got $2.8 million for the house, but it's like, the guy just shows up, pays cash, done. It's not about the price of the property. It's a specific buyer that buys a $2.8 million house in cash.
Mm-hmm.
And sells it for 3.3.
Yeah, he could probably turn around. He could probably turn around and mark it up.
Luke, you should have bought that, by the way. Mark it up $200,000 and move on.
Yeah, in a day.
Tell the neighbors are awesome.
Don't worry, I'm a notary. We'll close right here.
Exactly.
In this market right now.
Leave the bag of money on my porch. I might not be home, but just leave it here.
Joe and I have bought a house on the MLS and marked it up $100,000 and sold it just to make a point.
Mm-hmm. It was good. Jason asks, I'm on the last step to set up my merchant account at Heartland.
Nice.
And my very last question from underwriting has been whether I am licensed in all states.
Licensed for what?
That's hilarious. You should proudly say, no, thank goodness I'm not. No, just kidding. But as far as I know, we don't need to be licensed real estate agents representing ourselves. Jason, you're 100% correct. This is part of the problem. They don't know that.
This is why I just threw my hands up and said, you know what?
They don't get it.
Joe Pay's not going to happen through us. Because, and then, then you're going to talk to the next person. They're going to ask the same questions.
Mm-hmm.
It's
no, you do not need to be a licensed agent.
I'm just as frustrated as you are.
The same thing Jason is saying. You can only sell a car if you are a licensed car dealer. And we all know that's not true. It is exactly the same thing. So you are correct, Jason. It's one of my pet peeves right now. Steve asks, just for some wholesaling to developers. Info for some wholesaling developers. I have an info lot. I am developing manufactured home. I had a realtor friend listed on the MLS, which resulted in a good buyers list for sale of future properties obtained through first mailings this week. Oh,
brilliant! Anywhere you can build that list, build it.
Exactly. Okay, good stuff. Thank you. Merritt asks, does anyone actually sell property via credit card that's selling at $10,000 and greater?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
that's what American Express is made for.
Yeah. Good point.
I've done that in the last couple times in the last day or two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go. I would think that most have bigger credit limits. Well, now Merritt recommend wiring. You could do. I've done for large purchase amounts. If they don't have enough, I've had big amounts wired. But like Luke just said, credit card's not crazy for $10,000 at all.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. I had a guy trying to buy a property a couple days ago for $2,000, and he was like so excited to buy this thing, and he says he has a lot more available on his credit card, but it wouldn't go through. Like, it's just your daily max, just daily max.
Yeah. That's
so. Let me do a payment plan with you. We'll do $500 a day, for 4 days, and you'll be done. And he's like, but I want to move in today. I want to move in today. I got to pay for it today, right? This story gets longer than that, but Moon Clerk stopped doing the daily thing. Can only do weekly now. I think I used that trick too many times.
Oh, funny.
So I signed him up for weekly. Just charge him $500 a week for 4 weeks. I'm like, yeah, you can move in today. Property cost me $500.
Yeah,
you're cool. Go for it.
Exactly.
Yep. It's not like you've ever seen it or you're going to go ever see it, Luke. Right?
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Neighbors are crazy. This is like no access freak show land. And the guy, I warned him upside down, straight, forward, everything else. Like, the neighbors shoot at you. This is a crazy place. And he's like, it's great. No one will ever find me here. And so he's hiking in at night. Like, he's going to hike in through the woods 2 miles to the property at night. And so no one sees him. And there you go.
Yeah, you might want to credit process as a full amount because you might be never seen again.
Yeah, maybe. But no, I'm so glad to get rid of that property.
Hey, I got to ask you on this house deal. The person that bought it, did they live close by?
This is me?
Yeah. The big pros.
He flew in. He bought a plane ticket. He saw it go up for sale the night before. He bought a plane ticket from Northern California, flew down here. And he went to the open house, looked at the view and said, he doesn't have to look at the rest. And took his realtor to lunch. They drew up the paperwork and went back to the open house and handed it in. They got 3 more offers that night from other people that were higher, a good deal higher, but the seller had already taken the first offer.
Wow.
Sweet.
Like, that's crazy.
$300,000 higher.
But it was cash. I still don't feel bad.
I don't know. That'll wreck your day.
Yeah, you can't.
That would wreck my day.
Oh, gosh.
$300,000?
I know.
A couple hours later.
I know, but you'll make it up. Listen, you'll make it up. You tell me this all the time, Jack.
I know. That's why we're together, Joe, because you're all positive. That kind of shit pisses me off. I'm using this language intentionally.
I know. I promise. It'll be okay. You're going to be just fine. So with Shamgod asks, in my new mailer I sent out to dozens of different areas. I'm a little worried I won't know if certain properties will be wetlands or something else rare. Are you making sure you or your VA is checking off the boxes like that, no matter how rare, on every property, just to make sure there aren't mistakes? How should I play with the volume of leads I'll be getting in?
I'll go first real quick, Luke. Wait till it comes back. You did the right thing by mailing it out there in the first place. Wait till it comes back, and then if it's a brand new area for you, triple check before you actually pull the trigger on the deals that come back in. And I wouldn't. That's a scary thing to turn over to a VA. They're not going to understand.
Yeah.
Especially if they're from another country. You need to really call around, call the gas station attendant that's closest to the property. Just get real creative on that and make sure that you're not buying something that you're never going to be able to sell for any price.
Yeah, you're buying this, not the VA. Like, this is your money. You're taking the risk. You better be hands on the wheel. Like, pay attention there.
Yeah.
And go for it. There's a lot of good land out there. I mean, I'd love to have some wetlands. Lots of the places I trade land. I mean, a friggin' gold mine.
Yep.
Wetland in Michigan, not a gold mine. That's just bugs in your face and not fun.
We now have those there's some flood maps on RealQuest Pro, by the way.
Yeah, that's
if you really want to get into it. So I just thought about that.
How they're tested, but
Kathleen just said too that she always checks the FEMA maps and anything.
That's FEMA's great. I didn't think.
Yeah, thank you, Kathleen.
Great.
So Kathleen, but yeah, and like I said, there's stuff on RealQuest Pro now that they've added along those lines because they do a lot of stuff for insurance companies, and that's why those are available.
Here's a quick story. I bought a piece of property in California when we were full blown in Arizona, and it was the property that's under the serious power lines. The ones that come out of the plant.
Yeah.
And I found out about it later. I just didn't look at it as much as I should have. And I was really upset. We spent a lot of money. It was a huge amount of acreage, like up and down this thing. And it turned out we sold it for a tremendous amount more to somebody who was going to start a nursery. And they did. As far as I know, they're growing plants and stuff, which is a totally acceptable use apparently for under the power line real estate. Mm-hmm. So don't overthink it, but make sure you know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those have been the hardest for me to sell. Not no access, not neighbors shoot at you, not a swamp, but like under the major power line.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't have the right sales pitch.
Nurseries, man. That's what I've sold them to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt, well, because there's access. I always think it's cool.
Yeah.
There's a power line,
There's
so we know
really
there's access.
well-maintained access.
I
right?
know they have to get out there, so that's
Exactly,
kind of a good thing.
They usually go to like dirt bikers, 4-wheel off-road types,
Yeah.
and weekend campers and things like that.
Yep. All right. Matt asks, do you sign purchase agreements when selling? Mm-hmm. I've been using DocuSign. Okay. I feel like it makes people feel better when sending a cashier's check to me, but it adds time and I don't think it's necessary. I wonder if I could save some time here. Maybe just ask the seller if they want one. And that's exactly what I do, Matt, because they're staring at my offer and it's kind of signed. So when they call me back, I don't say, wait a minute. We need to do this now. And we just negotiated by $50. I'm going to send you a new one. I'll do it. And then you send it back and now we're going to do it. No, I don't do any of that. Only if they ever ask. And
I've answered this before, and so has Luke, and I know that Luke and I don't ever do them.
Yeah.
No, it's a friggin' waste of time.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're gonna buy it or they're not. Like, okay,
Right.
you want to buy it? Here's checkout. Just check out. You can enter your information. It's done. I'm not gonna spell your name right in the purchase agreement. I'm a horrible speller. Just put it in there because I want to make sure it's right on the deed. Just you got to fill out my form. You do it. You check out and you pay all at the same time. I'm not going to hold the property for you. I'm not going to get your agreement back in the mail someday when you can't figure out how to use DocuSign or whatever. And the property is sold to the next guy 3 times over and he's sold it to somebody else. Like, it's just, no, it's too confusing. It's too much of a mess. I'm doing too many transactions. It's not going to happen.
All that would be avoided if you took credit cards online, Matt. And that's what you should be shooting for.
Even if it's like, I do some of the bigger dollar ones, $500 down. You put the $500 in there with all your information, and then you send a cashier's check for the rest, or a wire, or we'll figure it out after you put the $500 down and you're serious. Because I hear from 10 people they're going to buy the property this weekend or something, right? That don't actually fall through.
That's right.
I'm good at telling them, hey, it's first come, first serve. I mean, that's it. That's all I can do. Yeah, I can't hold it.
You're making the agreement, and then you're making another one. You're making another one. You're making another one, and then you're answering questions about how to sign or whatever it says in the agreement, or something is
right.
The wordings needs to be changed, and you're going back and doctoring it up. DocuSign's awesome, but you still got to go in there and change it and send it back to them again and again every time they find something. That all that time needs to be put into answering a phone on the next deal, sending more mail, closing the next deal. It's just cut that stuff out.
You don't want to be chasing them. They're in or they're out.
Yeah.
So it's good. Jason asks, Heartland wants, this is good. And Jason shared it here if anybody's interested. It's in the chat. Heartland wants your monthly volume, your entity information, sample contracts that you'll be using for terms deeds, the percentage cash terms rent transactions. They have competitive markups better than Stripe. Yep. Cheesy requirements for me have been that they need to see a photo of my office. Oh, this is hilarious. Which was that I took a photo of my logo taped to my apartment door, and that was fine. Good. Hey, well, excellent
Welcome
workaround.
to the group, Jason. You're formally in our group now.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
I love it. A picture of my office. You could walk by any insurance person, open their door, snap a picture, and run. And say, "There's my office." So,
send them a picture of my chicken coop.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sitting in a shed.
Right? Yeah. I want to see Luke's office.
I bet there's like a light bulb.
Wait, Jason, you should have said your logo on a porta potty door. Yeah. Say, this is my office.
He's got a light bulb hanging from a string.
Yeah. With a mop at the corner. This is my office. Yep. Man. Oh, now I want to do that.
With chickens running around right in the office.
Dude, I'm going to tell you now. If anybody ever asks me that question, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be like there's going to be a strip joint in the background. It's going to be awesome. Oh, it's so good. All right, Kara asks, this is good. Jason said, I decided not to make it a selfie with me in my pajamas on the ground. I love it.
You know, we should have a contest in this group who has the craziest office. Yeah. Everybody submit the picture of your office.
I think that would be that would be really fun to see.
Where can we send it to? Come on, we should do that.
Should we do that? All right. If you guys want to participate, we'll make a page. We'll make it on Land Investors. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah,
Submit it to support at what?
All of our support at landacademy.com. I'll have Yanni collect them, and we'll make a cool page. Pavana put together a page.
Okay.
And we'll put everybody's office photos on there, and so dream it up, everybody. We can do real ones, and we can do or silly. I don't care. It'd be fun, but just know that we want to share them, so they have clothes on. So make it okay. But all right, I can't wait to see these. This will be really good. Luke, I do want to see chickens. We all want to see chickens.
Yeah.
So cool. Kyria asks, I'm trying to put in more property on LandPin, and I can't get the county state box to work. I emailed Aaron about it, got no answers. There's someone else I should be asking. Nope, it's Aaron. So hopefully you're using the support at landpin.com. Make sure you're sending it to that one. And then I'm surprised because Aaron usually sends like an immediate, I gotcha, I'm working on it,
Kyria,
tech
because
team.
you have a lot of postings. You've been a pretty active user there.
Yeah. So make sure you send it to the right one for Aaron.
I'll personally get to the bottom, Matt. I'm interested to see what that's all about.
You know what? And even if because you know what, I'll tell you right now, Kyria, our tech team has been tied up with offers to owners. Seriously, I told them to stop LandPin. So part of it is my fault.
O2O is on fire.
So but usually Aaron will say, "Hey, I'll get back to you. We got other stuff going on." So, will you work on that?
Yes, I will make sure.
All right.
I can tell you right now, if you want to solve it right now, Kyria, yourself, just resubmit it into a different new listing, and chances are it's that listing specific. There's an issue.
Okay. Cool. All right. Travis asks, at the risk of being redundant and asking a question that you've already answered in the training, I want to get some context for the areas that I'm about to send offers to. A couple of counties have 1 or 2 5-acre parcel listings that are being offered at 8,000 or 9,000. Would you send offers that are 40% of 9,000? Sure.
Well, what are you going to sell it for? The answer is no.
That doesn't make sense. You gotta go lower than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to sell it for 4 or 5.
Yeah. So you go even lower.
Around 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to circle on this real quick there too, Jack, by the way, about the partnerships Eric was asking us. Could comment on just general suggestions on doing partnerships?
Yeah, I'm going to spew on the topic. Ready?
Ready.
This is how we do partnerships. After we've done a deal a couple of times with the person, we set up an LLC so that we're equal owners, and we purchase the property with an LLC. And then we open escrow. We keep escrow open, and that person puts all the money into the LLC. That 100% of the money for the deal, not for marketing or any of that stuff, just the actual closing the deal and the soft costs like escrow and stuff. We buy it, we keep escrow open, and we sell it, and we split the profit according to the proceed that we all agree on, which in our case for land is 50-50, the profit. So that person gets all their money back that they put in. And then the escrow agent cuts a 50-50 check, and we do it all with a 2-page agreement that I drew up a lot of years ago, which I'm happy to provide if
that's like a one property deal, and you know the state, not like an ongoing deal of keep it rolling kind of deal.
Well, if we want to, we don't do keep it rolling deals that I've heard, Luke, that you guys do some of those deals. We don't do that at all. So we do it one deal at a time. So unless we really know the person. So the LLC is still intact, obviously, and property 1's done. Property 2, same thing. You put the property goes in there. The person puts, we never do a deal. I have never done a transaction where a guy gives me a couple $100,000 and then we kind of buy property with it. All of our deals have ever been, we already found the property. Here's the property. We think we can sell it for, or we already have it sold for X over what we're buying it. So it's just a no-lose situation for you and me and everybody. And it's usually investors that are local to the property, that they know it like we do and understand. Mm-hmm. That's how we do it.
Thank you.
What do you do, Luke?
I'm going long ball home run. I mean, just you compounding is missing in that calculation. You put the money in, you buy a property, sell a property, use that to buy 2 properties, sell them, use that money to buy 4, sell them, and grow that thing. With the idea of some of the deals along the way, you do some owner financing, or some parts of the sales are owner financing, and then kick the owner financing dividends out over time, like distribution on the distributions, then take the management fee and try to get the person back all the money that they put in as fast as possible, and the rest just keep rolling it. Just roll that money, compound it, and the next deal, and then do 1065s at the end of the year. Kick out a K1.
Right.
So the person gets a K1 every year on the partnership, or whoever the partners are, if it's multiple partners or some other partner and you, and do that with each one of the LLCs, each one of the partnerships. Do the tax reporting on each one, so it's its own books,
right?
And just keep it going until the person says no more, or the market changes, or business changes, or time changes, or whatever the scenario is. Maybe you stop doing deals and just let the ones that are in there die down over time, or whatever the end game is. But I keep that open to keep doing more deals.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a textbook way to do it. And in the very distant past, I did a version of that, and then the real estate market really crashed, and so there was way more real estate in there than money.
Yeah,
it was a big problem. So I promised myself I would never do that again. So, but I'm not saying your way is wrong at all. We just don't do it that way, because I want everybody to get their money out when the real estate's out. And then so while there's a little bit more paperwork, I just like doing it deal specific. There's some huge spread in the deals that we do this way. We're talking about millions of dollars.
So if you have loads of land in the LLC or the partnership, and then there's no more money left and the tax bills keep coming in, then you're in trouble.
It's a big problem. Or the market stops and and you can't sell the land.
Yeah.
And we don't do flips that are any longer than 45 days, typically.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done a partner deal that lasted that long, including like cash in, cash out.
Yeah. But
it's good to have 2 opinions,
Yeah. I want to take some of the profits on these and do splits. Some of these bigger acreage properties I could split, hundreds or thousands of ways, and, paper up proper splits. It probably takes more time to do it.
Years, probably, yeah.
But loads of profit in the thing.
Yep.
And you could probably hire out the sales side of it to some local, even build an office, with maps and driving tours. Get one of those Jeeps from Jurassic Park or whatever. Send people out on tours, sell the properties, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. Just those kinds of deals. I think you can pull those kinds of deals off, and it doesn't take that much capital.
Right.
Got some of them, I think, lined up that I'm working on. They're not totally ready, where the seller of the ridiculous amounts of land will hold paper on it, and then the partnership pays for doing the splitting. The surveying and the staking and the legal side of actually splitting it through the regulations. And then the landowner keeps holding the paper if we put all the contracts together, and I get to sell the properties on terms. You sell them for, the classic terms that we love to sell stuff for. And you can do them in volume, cut the market in half, go sell them at quarter of the market, whatever, on terms, and buy the hundreds and hundreds of properties. And down payment, takes the original owner out of the property, where he's happy to get paid out above what he thought he could sell it for.
That's a dream deal.
Everybody wins.
Every single person, even the end user.
Yep. The end user, the landowner, the guy who's got the money up in the partnership. That's, I'm thinking using profits from land flippings to do these longer term deals. It's not money that's someone's really crying about to get tied up over time for the kinds of profits you're shooting for, and do it on multiple deals, not just one, because the neighborhood's going to have a protest, or something's going to go wrong when you try to create thousands of properties.
Exactly.
If you're doing on multiple fronts, some of them will go through and some of them won't, and that's part of the business.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go over, but we've got about 20 minutes left because we have.
If it's 4:15,
we have to go look at new office space. We're busting at the
so
seams.
I'm gonna try to get through these last questions here.
Well, we will take pictures of the old office space because it's funny.
That would be funny. Mike A asks, I'm gonna take a picture of my home office.
Your home office
I'm going to do my home office.
The Marriott.
Yeah, thank you. That's if the seller, we should you and I, we're going to participate. This is going to be really fun. All right. Mike A asks, if the seller sold without insurance, the title company won't ask, where's the title policy with your warranty deed? That's what I mean.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Warranty deed doesn't mean there's ever been a title policy. What it means, and this is scary, what a warranty deed means is you as a seller, like Luke Smith as a seller, is warranting the quality of the title since it was homesteaded, long before Luke was ever born. And is that the craziest thing you've ever heard in your life? Why would you ever guarantee something you have no control over?
Right. Thank you.
So don't use one when you can get away with it.
Yep. Peter asks, I think I heard Jack say that in Arizona you can cross property to get to yours if landlocked. The county guy thought otherwise. Can you speak to this? Yeah,
in Arizona, what the law says is this sentence: you cannot unreasonably withhold access to someone else's property by them crossing your own property. But if the guy drives a semi and you live in Scottsdale and he's got to cross that's not reasonable.
Right.
That's what I mean.
Exactly. And there's a thing I remember because we sat through these classes.
Explain the law to a guy with a shotgun. It doesn't go well.
That's true. And then I think it's like 9 years too. After you've been crossing on someone's property for, I think, something like 7 or 9 years in Arizona, if I've been using your property, then there is a easement, an automatic easement, because you had 9 years to tell me, hey, knock it off, go somewhere else, go cross over there, kind of thing.
It's like 3 years in California.
Is it?
Sure, all these laws are made by people in suits in office buildings that have no idea what really goes on.
Right.
If you go to Apache County, they got a form you can fill out if you don't have access to your property, and the fee is like $30.
Perfect.
And they'll make it for you.
They'll make it for you. Yeah, they send out letters and they say, we're going to put access across your property, your neighbors, to get to the property you're trying to get to. And if nobody responds, they give you the easement. If someone responds, they just send a letter to the other neighbor, try it over there or move it around a little bit until no one complains. Yeah.
That's awesome. Merritt asks, aside from marketing in the county your property is on in Craigslist, have folks had much success and conversions also marketing the same property in a huge population center, say 5 to 6 hours drive away?
Yeah, try it all. Absolutely.
Especially like we all know, like say you live in Manhattan, you might go to upstate New York, or, we all know Phoenix people go to Flagstaff, and here people go to Big Bear and Mammoth and all that stuff. So
you get flagged off pretty quick, but just go try it. Just keep doing it. If you do it in volume, you really get flagged off there.
Yeah, I've noticed too. You probably had this look like you have to make them different. You can't like cut and paste everyone too. They have to
the process has to be completely different.
Sneaky about it, and then they won't pick up on it.
Yeah.
So Shem got asked, I'm trying to systemize and figure out a first tier for my seller leads so I don't have to touch a lead if it doesn't meet certain requirements. Curious, are you having a VA do due diligence on 100% of the leads that come in before reviewing, or are you having them only do a first tier of due diligence to see if it's worth diving into it or more? What does the first tier include? Like if I get 500 new, when he says leads, this is people that have responded to his stuff saying, so it's not really, it's like, yes, I want to sell kind of thing, call me.
Yeah.
Then I assume it's bad to do a full due diligence and all, but I feel like I'm wasting a lot of my time looking into improving the due diligence process. Can I weigh in on this?
Yeah.
Well, I was just talking to Yanni about this because Yanni's going to start helping me in learning some of this. So one of the things I want, we have a nice big, we have a system and there's a lot of holes in the system, and Yanni's going to start inputting and checking for me. Like I'm using Parcel Fact. Yanni can go in and say the lady called back and the owner is X and it's confirmed in Parcel Fact. Done. So I know the ownership's okay. I can have her check if there's any back taxes on it, so I know what that is. There's a lot of little things that I could have. You could have you could have a VA do. So when you sit down and you are doing your decision making, you have all those filled in. It's my money. I think I wouldn't let my VA tell me what to buy and not buy, but they could fill in those pieces for me.
By the time it gets to me to make a decision on whether or not we're going to buy the property, it passes Jill's tests and her team's tests that the person that we're speaking with is the owner. That's number one. Then I look at a series of maps, and I personally use Parcel Fact, and I cross-check Parcel Fact to make sure it's accurate with Google Earth. That's the kicker for me. If the price and the ownership and the Google Earth map test, the / Parcel Fact, so you can see the boundaries, passes, there's about a 95% chance we're going to buy the property. I don't look too much further into it after that. I know that you're kind of new, Sham God, and I get it, but I don't pull lien reports. I don't do any of that stuff. We forge ahead, and then at that moment, that's when marketing kicks in too. We don't wait until we buy it. That's why all of our properties sold long before we actually buy it. Mm-hmm. What do you do, Luke?
Yeah, so I mean, I get a lot of my best leads come in the mail. So I'm like, I got this spreadsheet and like a Google Docs spreadsheet, and I enter the data. Like, okay, here's the reference number, here's the APN number, the name. I'm pulling it out of the mailing database, filling it in, and VA is pulling location, pulling deeds, pulling HOA, taxes, looking for bills and stuff.
Yeah.
Checking that kind of stuff. Calling every notary in the area so you know the cheapest notary is, and getting all the paperwork together. And I'm calling the person and saying, notary's on their way. Just answer your phone and you're done. That's basically what I'm doing. And then I'm printing and shipping it off. Yeah, I'm looking at it at the same time I'm doing all the paperwork, and like this one makes no friggin' sense. The person's dead. They're dead 3 times over. They're like, the taxes are crazy. The HOA is crazy. It just or the next one's easier. Just keep resorting that spreadsheet, trying to get the easiest ones up to the top and in the queue.
Mm-hmm.
Re-rating.
Yeah, running to the bank with a spreadsheet of cashier's checks every day, it seems like.
Right.
And
that's the hardest part of this business.
Mm.
Getting the banker to speed up.
In the ass is getting cashier's checks.
Right.
Yeah, Yeah.
Okay, I have like a bunch here, 7. So Merritt asks, anyone tried subliminal advertising? Ooh, I like this one.
Somebody's been drinking
Whisper.
Through this whole thing.
Buy this land now. Don't ask any questions. Just buy it and smile. No title, cash only. Buy. Yes. Wow. That's awesome. I know, but I do that on Jack. Shh, don't tell him.
Yeah, totally do that. I know you do. And I like it.
I thank you. What is that running in the background of your video of a waterfall? That's good. All right. Jake Morris asks, hey, just made it to the group. Home late from work today. All good. Trying to locate the option purchase forms for sales with customers on No Money Down. Can't seem to find the form section. You got to dig at the bottom all the way down there. I can't remember which one it is, 1 or 2 of the quote unquote data discs, but they're in there. Working on large acreage deal from Wyoming soon, and options purchase will be my only option. Thanks, Jake the Landman, Oklahoma, and his website's up. Landman OK. Love it.
Are you doing everything right? And Jill's right. I love Oklahoma. I mean, I just love it, as everybody wants to have property in Oklahoma, especially people who already have dirt there.
Yep.
You should advertise on that guy that's building a big steel ship in Tulsa, Oklahoma. SV Seeker. You guys ever watch that YouTube channel?
No.
All do-it-yourself dudes like playing with welders and steel and everything else, making this huge boat in the guy's front yard. So if I had land in Oklahoma, I'd be like advertising on his channel and all in front of all of his videos.
It's Wyoming, but that's all right. It's all good.
I thought he said Oklahoma. Oh,
But he's in Oklahoma, but he's got Landman Oklahoma is his website, but he's buying a deal in Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Wyoming. Sure, there's other videos you could advertise on.
Yeah.
I don't know those.
I'm gonna try that YouTube specific video to sell a property and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told her there are a few questions below that one.
Yeah.
Okay, it's still some more of that stuff. Jason Mayfield asks, what credit card processor does Luke use? I had a bad experience with BluePay in the past.
Go ahead.
Use Moonclerk and Stripe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some Moonclerk in the front end and Stripe in the back end.
Gerald asks, I've not contacted them yet, but I did a Google search and found Gravity Payments, Merchant Services, Real Estate. Looks like they'll find you a merchant service provider. Just wanted to share. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're associated with Gravity Forms. That's good.
That's kind of
Thank
interesting.
you.
Yeah.
I'll check into that.
Uh-huh. All right. Travis asks, that was 9,000 per acre. That was from back before. All right. David asks, hey friends, how often are you purchasing land through your sell land forms online? Wondering if it's worth throwing on my site. Are most funneled from your letters or Google AdWords? Also, are there any secrets when applying with Stripe and Moonclerk to be aware of?
We get a submission on our asset acquisition form, and this is after sending a couple million letters, about once a week, and they're usually really good properties. I know that there's a way you can draw a tremendous amount of local traffic through setting up serpentine pages, and I've heard people have incredible success with that too. But there's nothing like just sending a letter. All this is difficult, and you just you're still not offering a specific dollar amount. You're just saying, hey, submit a property for us to take a look at. I mean, you're going to very quickly get to the problem that Sham God just said. We're going to have 500 properties to review, and 3 of them are going to be worthwhile.
Yeah, dreamy. I had one today. It was like in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like, I don't know anything about this. A guy wanted like $49,000 for a lot. It's like, I don't know.
Right.
Waste of time.
Exactly.
It's a waste of time to even look at it, even though it may have been the greatest deal ever.
It might be. How am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Is that it?
I think we're caught up. So, this is a lot of questions today. This is awesome.
Thanks, Luke. I mean, thank you, Jill.
No, it's fun.
It's good to have a different take on stuff.
Exactly.
Plus, I have to talk half as much when Luke's here.
Go do some deals.
You're silly. Oh, hey, okay.
There's the Atlanta property.
Yeah.
Guy's asking for the Atlanta property.
All right, Jared, you can have that. I love
Just
it.
give you the guy's phone number. You maybe call me. I'll get you the guy's information.
There you go.
Cool.
Hey, thanks everybody. Really quickly, Dave asked about Simple File, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I like Simple File. I like GoEPN a lot better.
Yeah,
it's like cheaper, faster. The thing that maybe you don't have a problem with those Simple File is they wouldn't take my PDFs, like however I was scanning them, the PDFs weren't coming through clear, and they're getting rejected in lots of places. Not all the places, but lots of them, just because it wasn't clear. So their solution was to upload everything in TIFF format.
Yeah.
Which is, I can do that, but it's like just so much easier. Just use PDFs.
An extra step for sure.
Yeah, it's an extra step of just ridiculousness. I haggled their price down to compete with GoEPN. They still want to charge $150 a year and $3.50 per transaction. GoEPN is $3.50 a transaction with no annual fee. Yeah, Simple File covers a couple counties that I do deals in that GoEPN doesn't, but GoEPN covers some counties that Simple File doesn't. So
all that stuff's included if you use TitleMind. We've got all those details worked out. We actually recorded it for you.
Yay.
Thanks everyone for listening to this extremely long program. We're going to go get some new office space. I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
But we will be here at the exact same time, same meeting number next Thursday.
Yep.
Thanks again.
Thanks,
Luke.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.